Hello, my dear students. Welcome to our program today. Today we are going to have Unit 6, Part 2, entitled What's Wrong? Before we start, I want to discuss with you something. Cyberbullying. All of us hear about it. What do you mean by cyberbullying? It's bullying that takes place over digital devices like cell phones, computers, and tablets. I want to ask you some questions. Have you ever faced cyberbullying? If yes, what did you do? Did you tell your parents or teachers? If you have done something wrong, what will you do? If you have done something wrong towards someone, what will you do? You bully someone, what will you do? Should you apologize or forget about it? All of these questions we are going to have or know the answer about them in our lesson. Let's start with some definition first. Cyberbullying, when you say unkind or cruel things about someone online. Cyberbullying means when you say unkind or cruel things about someone online. Breathe, take air in and out of your body. Mindfulness means being able to relax by calmly thinking about your feelings and what's around you at the moment. Include, allow or want someone or something to be part of something. Relax means become comfortable and less worried. A joke means say something to make people laugh. Clear means easy to understand. Interrupt means stop someone from speaking or doing something by suddenly speaking. Empathy means showing someone that you understand how they feel. Cope with means manage or be able to do something, although it's difficult. Some new vocabulary. What do you mean by plug? It's online diary. For example, I just had a look at your plug. It looks interesting. Comment means judgment or view. Example, you have added a comment to my post. Certain, to be sure about something. For example, I am certain Ali will come early. Timetable means agenda or calendar. I will make a timetable for revision. Afterwards means then or later. Do you know if you will go to the beach afterwards? Locked means closed. We found the front door locked. Luckily means fortunately. Luckily, my father survived the accident. Life jacket means life vest, to keep a person afloat in water. I must have a life jacket on my boat trip. Engine means motor. The engine of my car starts working again. Facts means reality. The fact can't be denied. Relax means rest. For example, why don't you sit down and relax? Feeling means love or sense. I have a feeling that he is right. Realize means to be aware of something. Finally, I realized that my father's decisions was right. Review means analyze or evaluation. She sent us her review of the research. Waterfall means water falling from a height. I enjoyed the scene of the waterfalls in Al Fayoum. Culture means art or customs or heritage. I have learned a lot about the ancient Egyptian culture. What do you mean by health? It's well-being or good condition, being in a good condition. Health is an important factor of happiness. And finally, deeply means extremely or seriously. I was deeply moved by his speech. Okay, what about some word to know the synonym and the antonym? What do you mean by mindful? Mindful means aware of something, and the antonym is unaware or mindless. Include means contain, and the antonym is exclude. Luckily means fortunately, and the antonym is unluckily. Happiness means joy or gladness, and the antonym is sadness or sorrow. Funny means amusing, and the antonym is serious or unfunny. Simple means easy or plain, and the antonym is complex. Recently means currently, and the antonym is later. Improve means develop, and the antonym is damage or worsen. Continue means go on, and the antonym is discontinue or stop. Certain means particular or specific, and the antonym is, of course, uncertain. Now with some suffix and prefix. The word deep, if we add ly as a suffix, it turns into adverb typically. Lucky turns into luckily. Of course, we turn the y into I and add ly. Recent becomes recently. What about the suffix ness? If we add ness to the adjective happy, becomes a noun happiness. Mindful becomes mindfulness. URE, if we add the word cult, it becomes culture. Real with ISE become realize. Define with ITION become definition. What about the prefix M? If we add it to the verb prove, it changes to another one. It becomes improve. Take, if we add mass as prefix, it becomes to another different word, which is mistake. Okay. Now we are going to read a passage quickly to answer some questions below. I always wanted to be part of a certain group of popular students. One day, they suggested that we cyberbully a boy in my class called Fauzi. So I wrote an unkind comment about him on social media. I thought that my friends would think it was funny. I didn't realize that they were joking, and I was the only one to write an unkind comment. Iyad read my comment, and the next day he didn't want to come to school. I had to tell my parents, and they couldn't understand why I did it. Then the other students didn't want to include me in their group. I'm so embarrassed about what I did. However, I hope my experience will have a positive result too. I didn't have to do what my friends suggested. You should think before you do something. Some online messages can hurt people very badly. I was able to say sorry to Iyad the next day. He is very kind, and now we are friends. So you should choose your friends carefully and always be kind to people. Of course, in this passage, we can find the answer to the question which I asked before. Of course, it's about cyberbullying. If you cyberbully someone, what should you do? Okay. Question number 1. What negative experience does it describe? This passage describes a negative experience. What is it about? What message does Hussein want to share with his readers? What does he want to convey? Why did Hussein want to be friends with this certain group? What was Hussein able to do the next day? Take your time to think. Okay, let's check our answer. Number 1. What negative experience does it describe? Of course, cyberbullying. To cyberbully one online. To bully one online. This is what we call cyberbullying. What message does Hussein want to share with the reader? He wants us to convey a message. What is it? You should think of the results of your action before you do something, and think about people you want to call your friends. Number 3, why did Hussein want to be friends with a certain group? Because they were popular. What was Hussein able to do the next day? He was able to say sorry to Iyad. So, if you did something wrong, you should apologize for it. Okay. Now another passage. Dalia's Day. We are going to read about Dalia's Day and then answer the questions. Dalia gets ready for school. She can hear her parents talking to her older brother. He's not doing well at school, and they are worried about his exams. She is worried about her brother too. Before leaving for school, she says goodbye to her brother. He doesn't look happy, and this makes her feel even worse. Dahlia tries to stop her brother playing video games. She tells him that he should study, but he does not listen. Then she looks on social media for some advice, but she can't find anything useful. Instead, her friends just tell her about what they did that day. The first lesson at school is science. Dahlia works hard and does some good work. The afternoon lessons didn't go well. Dahlia can't stop thinking about her brother. How can she encourage him to work harder? Dahlia's go home, her brother is playing video games. Dahlia's parents don't know what to do about him. She wants to tell her friends about her worries, but she finds it difficult to talk about her feelings, so she tells them she had a good day. Okay, after reading, let's have some questions. Which parts of the day are positive and negative for her? Do Dahlia's lessons go well in the afternoon? And why? In what ways does Dahlia find social media unhelpful? Take your time to think. Okay, let's check our answer. Number one, which parts of the day are positive and negative for her? Of course, the positive part, the science lesson, she did well. And the rest of the day was the negative part. Do Dahlia's lesson go well in the afternoon? No, they don't. Okay, why? She can't stop thinking about her brother. In what ways does Dahlia find social media unhelpful? Of course, it doesn't give her any useful advice on how to help her brother. Okay, now we are going to listen to some students talking about mindfulness. Point 1. In mindfulness classes, we learn that it's okay to have negative thoughts like when we feel angry. We don't have to feel bad about that. It helps me to understand my feeling and try to turn them into something positive. Mindfulness is about being kind to yourself and kind to other people too. Girl 1. In the class, you have to close your eyes, breathe in, count to five, then breathe out slowly. Breathing like this makes you feel calm. Point 2. In the class, we try not to think about all our problems. We should only think about things that are around us. Think about the present only, what is happening right now. The reason for this is we can't change the future or the past. We can only do something about the present. Girl 2. In mindfulness classes, you have to learn to find happiness in simple things. For example, when you eat a favorite food, think about how it smells, tastes, and looks. This is a new way of doing everyday things. Okay, now we are going to find the answer to this sentence. Okay,
Student's Book, Unit
listen
6,
again.
Lesson 4.
Which idea talks about try to think about only what is around you? Of course, it's number 3. Okay. For find happiness in everyday things. It's number 4. Understand your feeling. Of course, it's about number 1. Breathe in and out slowly. Of course, it's number 2. Again, try to think about only what is around you. It's number 3. Find happiness in everyday things, number 4. Understand your feeling, of course, it's number 1. Point 1. Breathe in and out slowly, of course, it's number 2. Okay. Let's move to another point.
Student's book.
Some language notes. The verb suggest, when it's followed by another verb, it must have ing for. I suggest watching TV. So suggest, if it's followed by another verb, we must put ing to that verb. طب, what if it followed with a subject and a verb? If it's followed by subject and verb, the verb must be infinitive for. I suggest that she watch less TV. She watch, infinitive for, the verb for. Or should watch. I suggest that she should watch less TV. Both of them are correct. She watch or should she watch? She should watch. Share with. I share something with someone. I share food with my friend. What about divided into? I divided the melon into pieces. Divide something into pieces. The word everyday and everyday. Notice the difference between them. Here, like one word, and here it's 2 parts words. Everyday as a one word, it's an adjective. I tell my parents about my everyday activities. I tell my parents about my everyday activities. Everyday here is an adjective to the word activities. Daily activities. What about this one? Every day, it's an adverb. Describes the verb. Sleep. I sleep early every day. Okay, so every day, if it's one word, it's an adjective. It consists of 2 words. It's an adverb. The phrase the only one to, the only one to, he's the only one to, or she's the only one to, followed by infinitive for. He was the only one to write a short story. She was the only one to come first. So it should followed by infinitive. Hope, the verb hope. If it followed by with to, we should have infinitive form of the verb. He hopes to succeed. He hopes to win. He hopes to come first. What about if it followed by a subject and a verb? We should have this for. Hope with a subject and well plus an infinitive. I hope something that will happen in the future. He hopes his son will succeed. She hopes she will win the race. She hopes something to happen in the future. Okay. What about able to? Able to must preceded by verb to be. It talks about ability in present or in the past. Subject followed by verb to be and able to as an adjective, then we have the infinitive form of the verb. He is able to succeed. He is able to win. Now we are talking about a present ability. What about past? He was able to succeed last year. He was able to succeed last year. We have here was able to. What about the future? He will be able to succeed next year. He will be able to succeed next year. So we can use able to in different forms of tenses, in the present, in the past, or even in the future. Okay. Now we are going to practice. Read and complete the text with words from the following list. Shouldn't, joining, understanding, similar, and should. How about dots, a club to meet people with dots interests? You don't have to belong to only one group of friends. You talk to them and tell them how you feel. They might be more dots than you think. Take your time to think. Okay, let's check your answer. How about joining a club to meet people with similar interests? You don't have to belong to one group of friends. You should talk to them and tell them how you feel. They might be more understanding than you think. Okay. Another kind of exercise. Choose the correct answer from A, B, C, or D. 2 dots is to become comfortable and less worried. relax, remix, review, or revise. Number 2, dots, being able to think calmly about your feelings and what is around you at the moment. Helpful, careful, beautiful, mindful. Number 3, means showing someone that you understand how they feel. Mindfulness, support, achievement or understanding, or even empathy. Number 4 is to take air in and out of your body. Smoke, breathe, create, or repeat. Number 5, think before you make decision. Deep, deepen, deeply, deepens. The antonym of mindful is aware, unaware, careful, relaxed. Number 7, dots, has the same meaning of closed, kept, covered, opened, or locked. Number 8, the antonym of the word older is ancient, elder, younger, or early. You have a second to think. Let's check our answer. Number 1, to relax is to become comfortable and less worried. Mindful is being able to think calmly about your feelings and what is around you at the moment. Understanding or even empathy means showing someone that you understand how they feel. Number 4, breathe is to take air in and out of your body. Number 5, think deeply before you make a decision. Of course, we need adverb here. The antonym of mindful is unaware. Number 7, locked has the same meaning of closed. The last one, the antonym of the word older is, of course, younger. Okay, now we are going to discuss the language concerning Unit 6, Part 2, Lesson 3 and 4, necessity in the past. When there is something necessary that you had to do in the past, which form can we use? You are obliged, you were obliged to do something in the past. What should you use? Of course, we should use had to. Had to means it was necessary to do something in the past. I had no choice to do it, so I had to do it. I had to go to school yesterday. Why? As there was an exam. There was an exam, so I had to go. It was necessary to go. I had to take a taxi yesterday because I was late for my meeting. I was late for my meeting, so I had to take a taxi. It was important to take a taxi. So when there was something necessary in the past, we should use had to plus infinitive. When there was nothing necessary in the past, there was something that's not necessary in the past, what should we do? We should use didn't have to, didn't have to, didn't have to. There was no need to do something in the past. It wasn't necessary or important to do it in the past. So I didn't have to go to school yesterday as it was a holiday. It was a holiday, so I didn't have to go. I didn't have to do what my friend suggested. I didn't have to do. So I didn't do it. Okay, what about the question 4? Okay, look here. Did you have to? Did you have to? Of course, we change had to into infinitive form have to because we have did. Did you have to go to school yesterday? Did you have to? Did she have to? Did she have to attend the meeting last Friday? Means was it necessary for her to attend the meeting? What did you have to do yesterday? What did you have to? I had to visit my uncle. It was necessary to visit my uncle yesterday. So when you talk about something that was necessary in the past, we should use had to plus infinitive. When something wasn't necessary at all, we should use didn't have to plus an infinitive. Okay? Let's move to another point, ability in the past. To talk about the ability in the past, we have 2 forms, could and was or were able to plus infinitive. Before we start, we must focus first if we talk about positive sentence or negative sentence. According to positive sentence, could, let's start with could. We use could plus infinitive in general situations, or with verbs related to senses or thoughts. When you talk about ability in general in the past, we should use could to talk about that action. Of course, let's have an example here. Heba could swim when she was young. She had the ability to swim when she was young. I could ride a bike when I was 6, but my brother couldn't. What about was or were able to? We should use them with action verbs to talk about ability, a past ability related to a single event in the past, to talk about a specific action or a specific event or even single event in the past. It means manage to or succeed in doing something. For example, I was able to say sorry to Ali after that embarrassing situation. I talk about specific situation that was embarrassing for Ali, so I was able to say sorry. We were able to post the car after the accident. This is a particular situation. After the accident, we were able to post the car. We can't use could here. The sum was very difficult, but Muhammad was able to answer it. We talk about specific situation, about the sum. In the exam, it was so difficult. So Muhammad was the only one or was able to answer it. So when we talk about ability in the past, in positive case, when we talk about general situation, we should use could. When we talk about specific situation, and with, of course, action verbs, we should use was or were able to. Okay. What about inability in the past? I wasn't able to do something or I couldn't do something in the past. Both of them are equal. In negative case, couldn't equal wasn't or weren't able to. Both of them are the same. They couldn't understand why I did it. Could not understand why I did it. Ola couldn't swim when she was 6. Ola wasn't able to swim when she was 6. What about question 4? We can use could Ola swim when she was 7? Was Ola able to swim when she was 7? Okay. So in negative case, both of them are equal. In positive case, could talks about general situation and was and were able to talks about specific situation. Let's practice. Complete the correct form of the word between brackets. Tariq does have to go to the dentist yesterday because his tooth hurt. It was very windy, so planes wasn't able to leave the airport. They be able to ride a bike after the accident. They to take a taxi yesterday. You have to go to school last week. Mustafa can swim in the Red Sea last summer. I couldn't reading in English when I was young. Magda had to buy, of course, a strong bread as she had a lot of in the fridge. I didn't have to done, of course, the housework yesterday. My mom had already done it. Yesterday, I, between brackets, has to take the umbrella as it was raining. Could Laila talks, between brackets, alone when she was 11? She was able to catch, between brackets, the pole. The girl didn't has to do what her friend said. For the last one, are your sister able to swim well in the last competition? Take your time. Okay, let's check the answer. For number 1, Tariq had to go to the dentist yesterday because his tooth hurt. Of course, we have here yesterday. So we talk about necessity in the past. We should use had to. Had to. Have to turned into had to. Of course, we have two here. We cannot add another one. Just had. Number 2, It was very windy, so planes able to leave the airport. Of course, planes plural weren't able to leave the airport. Weren't. I didn't have to. What my friend suggested. I didn't have to do. Didn't have to followed by infinitive. They able to ride a bike after the accident. They were able. The past here were because they takes plural verb. They to take a taxi yesterday. Necessity in the past. They had to. What about these questions? Of course, we have question mark here. You have to go to school last week. You have to go, of course. Did you have to go? Did you have to go? Mustafa swam in the Red Sea competition last summer. Was able to swim in the Red Sea competition last summer. I talk about specific situation, the Red Sea competition, not general ability. I couldn't read in English when I was young. Read, of course, infinitive form. General ability. Magda didn't have to buy bread as she had a lot in the fridge. Magda has a lot of bread in the fridge, so they didn't have to buy bread, so she didn't buy. She had a lot of bread, so she didn't buy any. I didn't have to the homework yesterday. My mom had already done it. I didn't have to do. It wasn't necessary to do it. My mom had already done, so I didn't have to do. We have infinitive form here. Yesterday, I had to take the umbrella as it was raining. This is in the past. Had to. Because it was raining. Was raining. Could Layla cook alone when she was young? Of course, we should have infinitive after cook. After could. Cook. She was able to catch. Suppose, of course, we must have or we should have to. Expression was able to catch, not was able catch, was able to catch. The girl didn't to do what her friend said. Didn't have to do. Didn't have to do. Of course, we have the infinitive form after didn't. Didn't have to. Had to. Change it into didn't have to. The last one. Your sister able to swim well in the last competition. Of course, we talk about something in the past. Last. So we are talking about the past. Your sister is singular, so we must have was. Was your sister able to swim well in the last competition? I hope you got it. Okay, it's our last point with some language function. When you want to show that you are listening to someone, you care about what he says, what expression can you use? When you see someone that is in trouble or has something wrong, what should you ask? You can say, what's wrong? Tell me about your problem. What happened? If he is hesitant to talk, you can encourage him by saying, go on, it might help you to talk about it. You know? I see what makes you say that. It's clear you are unhappy about it. Can you give me an example of what you mean? If someone saying something and you couldn't understand, you can ask, can you give me an example of what you mean? Here is the problem. What about the solution? What about the solution? You can suggest solution to people by saying, so first of all, it would be a good idea to, and tell him about the solution. First of all, it would be a good idea to concentrate on your lesson, to organize your time. Let's tell that you should or you shouldn't. Let's tell that you should sleep early, or you shouldn't waste your time, or shouldn't stay up late. Finally, I think you should. Finally, I think you should organize your time, obey your parents, listen to your mom, and so on. Why don't we go out? Why don't we watch TV? Why don't we study hard? All of these are solutions to the problems some people are facing. Okay, let's practice. Finish the following dialogue. Maher asks his teacher, Mr. Usman, how to be a good listener. Maher, hello, Mr. Usman. Can I ask you a question, please? Mr. Usman, hello, Maher. Then a question from Maher. Mr. Usman, if you want to be a good listener, you shouldn't interrupt the speaker. Maher, it's okay. I won't interrupt the speaker. Then he asks a question. Mr. Usman, you should also show that you are interested in the subject. Maher, what should I do if the speaker said something wrong? Can I give you some advice? Can I give you some advice? Mr. Usman answered, but don't give orders. Maher, thanks for your time, Mr. Usman. Mr. Usman answered. Take your time to think. Let's check our answer. Maher asks his teacher, Mr. Usman, how to be a good listener. Maher, hello, Mr. Usman. Can I ask you a question, please? Mr. Usman, hello, Maher. Sure, go ahead. Of course. Maher, how can I be a good listener? How can I be a good listener? If you want to be a good listener, you shouldn't interrupt the speaker. It's okay. I won't interrupt the speaker. What else? Or what should I do? You should also show that you are interested in the subject. What should I do if the speaker said something wrong? Can I give you some advice? Can I give them some advice? Can I give them some advice? Mr. Usman, yes, sure, of course, but don't give orders. Thanks for your time, Mr. Usman. Mr. Usman, you're welcome, or never mind, or no problem. Okay, that is the end of our session today. We continued all of our session and ended our syllabus for the first term. Thank you for listening. Sahar Araqi was with you today. Thank you.